In this session, you will learn how to use product-level profit insights to make smarter Amazon PPC decisions. And for this session, I will have two great experts, Stephanie from Adspert and Alex from Sellerboard. And before I invite those experts to the stage, I wanted to mention that this session is sponsored by 5 great companies. The first one is Adspert. Stephanie is participating and representing this company. She can tell more about this tool. But in essence, Adspert is an AI-powered Amazon Ads optimization tool. Hero Fulfillment, they specialize in stress-free fulfillment and warehousing in Europe. TrueOps provides affordable and comprehensive Amazon reimbursement services. AMZ One Step is an Amazon creatives agency that helps brands to grow by creating product photos, videos, and content. And last but not least, VAA Philippines provides expert virtual assistant services for e-commerce sellers. And these companies are sponsoring this session, which is part of the Seller Fest Online virtual event. And I would like to invite our two experts for this session. It's Alex and Stephanie. Hello. Hi, guys.
Hello, Augustus.
So,
Hello.
we will talk about advertising. It is one of the important aspects of Amazon business journey. And before we start with the content and presentations, could you please very shortly introduce yourself? So maybe we'll start with Stephanie.
Yeah, hi Augustus. I'm really happy that I'm here. Yeah, I'm Stephanie. I'm co-founder and CEO of Adspert. I'm nearly in the SaaS industry for 24 years. I started as in a fintech. That was one of my first companies. We optimize stock portfolios for banks. And then we thought about maybe we can expand our algorithm to other industries. And so we extend that to online marketing because the similarity is auction-based modeling. And now for the last 4 years, we heavily optimizing Amazon portfolios, so mainly keywords, placements, and doing bid management now for Amazon.
And you have been with Adspert for many years already in the industry, I think 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, that's quite a while. And by the way, you can always find me in cool cocktail bars in Berlin. So because that is my second part, what I really like is shaking cocktails.
Nice. So yeah, thanks to Adspert for sponsoring this session and this event. And Alex, what about Sellerboard?
Yes, hello, Augustus. Hello, everyone. Hello, Stephanie again. Thank you for the invitation, Augustus. Good to be here. So my name is Alex. I'm part of the marketing team, taking care of the knowledge around Sellerboard. This is a profit analytics software for Amazon sellers. And this is main focus, main area of our of what we do, of the competence. But besides that, we also have different tools that help sellers out with inventory, with PPC management, maybe not in such a deep way as Adspert does, but we'll talk about that today, I hope. And also keep sellers posted on what's happening with the events features that we have, alerts sent out to them. So all basically 360 degrees around the activity of a seller. And starting with the main topic that is actually getting a lot more hotter now is the profitability and how much you walk away with at the end of the day. So I'm looking forward to talking about this today and also learning more about PPC from Stephanie.
Well, thank you very much. And while Stephanie is preparing, no, actually, the sequence will be like this. Alex will start with the presentation, Stephanie will follow, and then there will be an additional discussion. And also those who are watching, if you have any questions during the session, type them in the live chat. If you're watching the replay, type them in the comment section below, and we'll ask Alex or Stephanie to respond to you later. So yes, I'm ready. I think Alex is also ready. Once I see your slides, I will activate. And yeah, if during session you enjoy the content, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. And yes, I see your slides, Alex, and
nice.
We are ready to go.
Then we can start. So I'll be talking today about the factors that influence profitability in the most major way. And I will be talking mostly not about Sellerboard. surprisingly, but about things that sellers can do by themselves, and how they can do their own calculations. But just to show the fact and kind of highlight the point that all of this can probably be done manually, but with automated tools, it can be done a lot easier, right? But I'll try to bring as much value as possible and help out sellers that need to understand, how in general profitability calculations are done and what needs to be taken into account. All right, so we call these factors profit killers, and I really talk about them a lot. And the main reason why we talk about that is to make sellers question themselves about how much profit do they have at the end of the day and per profit per unit sold. So this is what is like the basis of the P&L analysis, right? So this is the main questions, but while calculating your profit per unit sold of the product, there are a lot of other questions that you need to ask yourself as a seller. So regarding the changes in prices, regarding the different fees that you have that always change, regarding the cost of goods that change because of the prices for containers and logistics, and also because of the rising prices of the raw materials if you're producing products. Are you taking into consideration the refunds, the products that come back and being refunded? Are they actually in sellable condition? Can you put them back into the market or not? And are you even aware of all of the Amazon fees that you are hit with, right? And we all know that those change really fast and appear, and the values change, so they rise. I will be talking about that today as well. So with all of that being said, what can we do? We'll also be talking about some ways that you can try to improve your profitability today. And the first thing you need to look at when analyzing profitability and trying to find the profit killers are the underperforming products. And to tackle this issue at all, you need to first look at the very basics. So at the three types of reports that you have in your business. So you need to have a P&L report. This is what we are going to talk about. A cash flow report and a balance sheet. So the profit and loss basically shows you how much money you're making per unit. The cash flow is how much money do you have in and out your business for operational purposes. And the balance sheet just is a valuation of what you have in general. Today, we're focusing on the first one, on the profit and loss. So in order to tackle the underperforming products, you need to detect them. And that's the first thing you need to do. So to do that, you need to gather all your data. That is the basis of any P&L analysis. And that's your cost of goods sold, your sales, your refunds, your Amazon fees, and your advertising costs. So having all of that, you can compute your gross profit. And over here, you can take a screenshot if you want. You have the way how you can generate the reports in your Amazon Seller Central. And then with all of that data from those reports, combine it together in pivot tables and use the VLOOKUP function to kind of attribute different data to the same SKUs, right? So you would have like one big pivot table where you would be able to analyze each factor that influences profitability. And then the next step would be trying to detect the weak spots, right, for every SKU that you have in order to detect those underperforming products. And here you might detect products that have a higher percentage of refunds. We'll be talking about refunds a little bit later. You might find products that have a high cost of goods, and maybe there's space for negotiation with the supplier, with changing the provider of the logistics. Then there might be some Amazon fees that you can avoid, right? And also you need to look at your advertising and optimize that. So here, Stephanie will help us with that. So these are the things you need to kind of try to detect in your big table that you compute, and then decide whether they're the products that you have. Some of them you would want to retain and protect them because they will have a good performance, like the ones that don't have any yellow cells in this table. Then maybe some of them you can refine, so change something in order for them to perform better. And there would be products that are unfixable, that you just need to either sell them through or remove the stock or liquidate. Just find a way to get rid of them especially if you're losing profit with each sale, because this could be a situation that you might run into, right? And then just find out what would cost you less to sell them through, to remove them, or to liquidate. So that would be the first approach. So tackling underperforming products. The second approach would be analyzing the excessive fees and hidden costs, right? So this is the next profit killer. And in 2024, we had a plethora, like a variation of different fees that changed or appeared. Like the aged inventory fee increased in 24. And now Amazon introduced a dashboard that you can use to see what products will soon be reaching that aged inventory mark where you will start paying that fee. So you can access this link and check it out. Then low inventory fee is a new fee that was introduced in 24. And you can, in order to avoid it, not to pay it, you need to check your inventory and make sure that you have enough stock for the historic 28 days of sales, right? So take a look back 28 days, how much you've sold in that period, and have enough stock for the next upcoming period in that volume, in that amount. The inbound placement fee is a new one that there's a lot of discussions around that. Frankly, I'm not a specialist in FBA shipments and inbound placements, but we do know that Amazon rolled out like the 5-box rule that basically describes how you need to send your FBA shipments in order to try to avoid that that fee that comes. But there's a lot of discussion. It's not very clear how it functions. And then the last one I also want to discuss is a new one, is return processing fee. This is also a new fee introduced this June, I think. And this fee is applied by Amazon for every product that is returned for the ASIN where you've hit a return ratio that is higher than the threshold that was set by Amazon. So this is something that you need to look at and try to avoid it as well, because the fees are really high. And also, luckily, Amazon rolled out a dashboard you can use in Seller Central to basically take a look what are those fees at an account level, at an ASIN level, so you can work with that. Additionally, you need to take a look at obvious things, but unfortunately, not all of the sellers take them into account when calculating their profit, like services and talent, software and subscriptions like Expert, and Sellerboard, education and mentorship like renting and materials if you're doing FBM. So all of that needs to be also taken into account as overhead expenses. We obviously do that in Sellerboard and encourage sellers to do the same. The returns. So the returns, there are several steps to analyze and try to reduce your returns. The first one is understanding the refund cost structure. I'm talking about this a lot. Again, just briefly showing you on the left side, you have the basically the structure of what the customer paid for when he paid full price. And on the right side, you have what happens when a return happens. So there are things that are refunded by Amazon and things that are not refunded by Amazon, which can be considered a loss, right? So now we have things like the returns processing fee, which is conditional. It is applied, as I said before, if your return ratio for the product category is too high. And the removal fee is if the products are in unsellable condition. So these might be on top of your loss that is there already with every return. So you're losing your profit, you're losing the FBA fee that you've paid. It is not reimbursed by Amazon. And you have a refund administration fee that's always charged by Amazon with every return. So all of that combined is a really big loss with every return. Then moving forward, so the return specific fees, you need to, we strongly suggest understanding what they are. So the refund administration fee, it's mandatory. The returns processing fee is the new one, which is conditional. I'm going to describe it in a second. And the removal fee is also basically conditional if you cannot sell the product, again, on Amazon. The new one, the return processing fee. So there's a rate card for these fees. So the first link over here, you will find the rate threshold for different product categories. So you need to go to that link and find your product category and see or different categories for different ASINs that you have, and see what are the thresholds for the return rates for your products, for your ASINs, and then take a look at the ratios for your ASINs, right? And then they have another rate card which shows you basically how much you pay in fees for different sizes and weights when that fee is applied. So then I don't have the link here, or do I? No, then I will show it to you. I'll show you the link in a second. So in order to analyze the products with the highest return rates, with the highest return ratio, go to this link, sellercentral.amazon.com/FBA/returns, and there's a dashboard which you can access only if you're logged in your Seller Central account, and where you will be able to analyze your situation with returns and ratios on an account level, and then gradually drill down to a product level, see this dotted line. This is the threshold for the product category, and the evolution in dynamics is basically how your return ratio changed over time. So this will help you understand for every product when exactly where you hit or will be currently hit if you see a trend with this fee, right? So if you dig deeper, you will see additional information on the product level. I strongly suggest checking out that dashboard. So yeah, you can obviously see the reasons that customers indicated why they returned the products. Maybe some of them are simple enough for you to act on and solve the problem easily, or maybe there are products in your list that need, to additional quality checks when you, if you're manufacturing the product yourself. Right. So the FBA returns, you can. What you can do, there's no magic trick. Basically, the things are the same as always. You should inform your customers in a correct way, not to mislead them. So the information that they see on your listing corresponds or is the same exact to the expectations that they have when they receive the products. So they are not different. And this can be as simple as size, color, shape, and stuff like that. So a lot depends on the description, on the photos that you have. Then the quality of the packaging, if your products arrive in good condition and good shape, and obviously trying to proactively resolve the issues that the customers have with your products. So if they do not understand how to use the product, or maybe if they need guidance, think about the materials that you include in the products. If you do private label and you kind of supply the information about the product with the product itself, think about how it is presented, right? Is it written in an easy language? Is it understandable? So you need to think about that as well, because that affects the return rates again. Another thing with the return rates, you need to be informed about your situation with the listings. So if you have many sellers on the same listing as you and something happens on that listing, maybe the description changes, or the brand changes, or the relation between the parent ASIN and the child ASIN changes. So any of those changes that you are unaware of can then potentially trigger a lot of returns from the customers, because the listing will change. The sellers that are on that listing will adapt to the changes to the listing. And if you miss that situation and will not change, will not act, you might be selling the wrong product because the listing changed, and then you will end up with a lot of returns. This is also something that can be solved by having a tool that will automatically inform you about the changes on the listings that you have. So FBA errors, also a profit killer. If Amazon loses or damages your inventory, you should permanently come back to this question. So once in a while, check, do you have these cases? And you can pull the inventory ledger report for that. This is like a list of steps you need to take to pull that report from Amazon and see whether you can get reimbursed for some of that loss that Amazon generated for you. Alternatively, you can use Sellerboard, because we do generate that report into Kliks. And yeah, so basically these are the main things. And the last one I want to talk about is the silent events that happen in your Amazon business. So as I said, the things with the listings, when something changes, you need to be aware of that. If you lose the buy box, probably you should be aware of that. if your product category changes or the product dimension changes, so the Amazon wrongly measured your product, then you start overpaying in fees, right, and FBA fees. And if that happens, then you potentially can be reimbursed for the difference in what you've overpaid, but you need to be aware of that. So in order to do that, you need to be able to pull out a report and see how the FBA fee changed and which ones changed for which ASINs. Also, again, in Sellerboard, we do that. We provide you with a report where you can do that thing. So yes, in general lines, this is it. Thank you for the time, for your interest. If you have any questions, I would be happy to answer them in the Q&A session.
Great, thank you very much, Alex. And now we will switch to Stephanie.
Yeah, thank you, Augustus, and thank you, Alex. I think that was quite interesting how many fees we all have in the Amazon business, how complicated it is, all the small details. And on top of everything, PPC is coming. So without advertisement, your products are not visible anymore. I think a lot of you maybe remember at the beginning where you just have to list it. Maybe you are the only one with that product, and it was amazing times. Ideal-wise, is it produced in China? It was sent over, and you never touched that product, and you sold that on Amazon. I think these days are quite gone. So maybe a few of you have that rare chance to do business like that, but the most people have to do PPC. And in the world of PPC, ACOS is the most important metric. So what I see, it's either ACOS or it's ROI. ACOS was introduced by Amazon. But what I also see over the last, I would say 12 months, that a lot of people use ROI, and ROI or ROAS is just the opposite of ACOS. So that is the most important metric, and maybe more or less everybody is using that. But let's have a closer look to that, if that is really the best choice to do. And maybe you can guess, because we are here and because of profit optimization. And I would like to give you one insights why you maybe should consider profit over ACOS. One of the reasons is ACOS talks about profitability. You saw that in the presentation of Alex. You have a lot of fees and you can calculate that. And at the end, you sums up, mainly a little bit more detailed, but I see that with a lot of clients, you sum up with a specific ACOS of maybe 40, 20, and that is just a guessing of profitability. So you take into consideration margin. So typically what that means, a low ACOS, it means a high margin, goes along with a lower volume. On the opposite, if you have a high ACOS, then you have high volume. But there is a huge part missing in that, and that is profit. Because what you miss here is the volume. So profitability, profit takes into consideration the margin, what you have a little bit in ACOS, but you need volume. And with volume, I mean sales volume. If you just optimize on ACOS, you miss the volume and the sales volume. And the sales volume you only get with the calculation of profit, because that is then profit is a combination of ROI and your margin, your ACOS. And now Alex and I will talk a little bit about what is important for profit optimization, into consideration that in our optimization, how complicated it is to get all the data, because you cannot just switch from revenue optimization into profit optimization. And just with what you saw from Alex, with all the small details, that is just one part. So collecting all the data for profit optimization, and then use all that data for PPC, that is the next challenging part. And I'm looking forward to our discussion, Alex, about profit optimization, profit analytics, because you're coming from the profit analytics side, I'm coming from the profit optimization side. And together, I think we are an ideal combination for seller.
Yes, let's do it. We are a good team. I agree, Stephanie. So I have a first question, if I may, because I'm really interested in. I never heard actually before, of this approach, and I wanted to ask you, where did you get the idea from, or how you came to the idea of optimizing by profit rather than by ACOS? How you came to that, and why did you find that this is the best way to do it?
A really good question. To be honest, profit optimization, that is what my co-founder Howard and I did for the last 24 years. When we worked in the financial industry, it was all about profit. It was not about how many stocks do you have in your portfolio. It was a combination of stocks. So it all came down to profit. And when we joined online marketing, so we started original 14 years ago with Google, we figured out for a lot of companies, it was more about visibility, but we never forgot our profit optimization thought about it. And in the world of an e-commerce company, profit is really important at the end because people want to scale. But if you just think about on ACOS, you can't make sure that every sale is profitable for you. But if you jump from revenue optimization to profit optimization, you can make sure that every sale is profitable. And then you have a scale model. Like Alex, you explained what you have to avoid by finding products that maybe have low margin, that have low profit. Of course, you can do all of that manual, but imagine you have thousands of products that a lot of our clients have. Then you cannot go every time go manual. You have to somehow rely on a system. And that is where we thought about, okay, we want to go the next step from revenue optimization. That is what we started, to profit optimization. But to go that step, you need companies like you, or you do it by yourself to get all the important data, because it's not just having COGS data, FBA data, return rates. It's a lot of small details what you have into consideration.
Mm-hmm. Yes, agree with that. Thank you for your answer. And to add on top of that, so when you take into account these things that are outside of the PPC, I would say classical approach, right? So when you start adding into the equation, like your FBA fees or other things like cost of goods sold and maybe even expenses, if you add all of those into equation, then you can actually say whether your campaign is generating real profit or not. So only by that. But I would also want to ask you, because I can share, I would be glad to share what we do on the, we do also do some PPC optimization, and we do like with Sellerboard, we have two main types of setting targets or objectives, right? So you can either, with PPC bid automation that we do, either target a profit margin that you want to achieve with the campaign, and Sellerboard will try to gradually change the bids in order to achieve that target, right? Or you can target a certain ACOS that you need, and then Sellerboard will basically do the same. So the approach is the same. We analyze the sales, we analyze all of the factors that we pull from the profit dashboard, right? All of the factors that affect profitability. And also, I would also want to tackle this thing that Amazon, when a PPC sale happens, doesn't actually tell you which exact product was sold. So if a customer clicks on the product, sees your ad, clicks on the product, goes to the listing, but then chooses to buy another product from your store, this is also considered a PPC sale, right? So
that is the most important. But thanks for bringing that up. A lot of people is not aware of that. Halo sales was one of the biggest problem at the beginning when we want to go from revenue optimization to profit optimization. It's also for revenue optimization important, but for profit optimization even more. So it means you advertise product A, but you sell product B. And Halo sale is not only for profit optimization important, it's even more complicated for TACOS optimization. I know there are few tools outside that are offering TACOS optimization on campaign level, but the question is, in advertisement, you can map that now. Since 2002, there are some reports. So by the way, there is not one report where you can say, oh, I advertised product A and then I sold product B. It would be so easy. I'm 100% sure Amazon has these data. but they don't deliver it like that. So you have to combine several sources. Stream is one of the most important parts for that, purchased reports, and then you have to combine data. And there is at the end always some guessings in, because it is not one simple report. But let me give you a short excursus to TACOS optimization, because it's perfect for Halo sales problem. So we can combine now. Product A is advertised, product B is sold. Easy. But what happens, and in TACOS means you combine organic data and advertisement data. The problem starts is one product is in several campaigns listed. And to be honest, at the end, you don't have that perfect campaign structure where you only have one product in one campaign.
Sure.
There are a lot of companies outside, but somehow it becomes messy, and then you are not as precise. And then the problem is, if you're offering a TACOS optimization on campaign level, so if you now go and take that Halo sales into the organic data, but the question is now, how do you map that paid to advertisement and organic if that product is in several campaigns, to be really precise of the TACOS optimization? So it's a huge challenge, and I think not every seller is always really aware of all these small details. And thanks for bringing up Halo sales. It was a huge hassle until 2002 that to calculate. Now there are chances to calculate that.
Yes, this is also thank you for that, for the kind of for the discussion, for the explanation. We also, I'm not pretty technical. I'm into marketing and knowledge, but I do know that Sellerboard uses an algorithm that's called same to all ASINs, same to all. So we analyze what is the percent, we compute, Sellerboard computes what is the percentage of a single product with the most sales from the total amount of sales generated by a specific campaign. And we assume, or we estimate, that this is the product that has been advertised. So this is the way that we do it. And if you have like a campaign and there's same SKU to all SKU ratio, 75%, that you can know that this is a pretty high level of chance of accuracy, that these numbers that are estimated are close to what you actually get. So 75% of the sales were exactly for that same exact product advertised. And we treat all of the metrics judging by that percentage. So we use that same SKU to all SKU ratio. How do you know? I don't want to kind of ask technical questions, but did you manage to overcome the situation, or how did you come up with the solution, or are you just pulling data and comparing from different sources?
No, we have also unique guessings in between, or exactly like you did. You developed a small part in your algorithm where you decided that is one of the guessings how to map that. We have some similar behavior, and that's why if you compare, I would say, 4 companies. How they distribute the data, you will, I would say, have 10% difference. If you have 50% difference, then I would challenge that. But everybody from us do it a little bit different, and the reason is you don't get that data from Amazon. I would argue a little bit that companies, they have execution, and we earn our money with execution. We are a little bit more precise with our thinking process, how to do that and how to map data, because just getting data from Amazon, presenting that in analytics, I would say it's more easy because you don't have to execute on that data. But we as an executing company, if we are doing not as precise, not as details, we are losing the customer because we're doing shit at the end. And with analytics software, especially in the early days when I started with Amazon, where we compare our data with analytics software, this company is not on the market anymore. What I saw as data was, oh my God, they present the data to the customer. It's good, but they don't execute them. And that's why the data was, not as ideal, I would say.
I get where you're coming from. We feel it a lot I mean, the customers demanding, executing on data, doing it accurately, because there are a lot of things we compute on our side, right? And when sellers a lot of the times even question whether the data that we just pull from API is accurate, is timely, so we receive it on time and we don't have delays. And then on top of that, the data that we compute, the metrics that we compute, how accurate are they? So this is something we always stand for, and we put it first, because this is what Cellebrite was actually built on, right? On accuracy. All right. Thank you. That was quite interesting regarding how it was built. And also, I wanted to ask you, with your experience with the customers that you have, do you think that profit optimization is for everybody, or are there cases when not optimizing for profit, but rather optimizing for other stuff is better? And which are those cases?
So in general, I would say profit optimization is for everybody, but as you presented at the beginning, is you need much more data than just if you go with revenue optimization, you have your specific as a seller, you know for which price do you sell that product, you have your advertisement cost, and you can optimize it. If you go the next step with profit optimization, you need a lot of more data. And what we are seeing here at Expert, that is for a lot of companies challenging, even the cost of goods sold. So what is the price? What is what they all that data? What they need here is it's challenging for customer, and what we're offering at the in-between solution, that they start again and giving us a roughly estimation for this cost of goods sold, because a lot of companies cannot really detailed enough giving us these data. So that's why maybe if you guessing for profit optimization, then I would say let's stay with profit optimization. Let's maybe stay with ACOS, especially if you are happy with your results. But if you're in a really niche where you have just a low ACOS, then maybe take the effort and really turn your company upside down and try to get all the data what is necessary to jump into profit optimization. And one last thing for profit optimization, because you have so much more data points, I would consider you should have at least 30 conversions per month. Of course, if you have 2,000 products, maybe that ratio is also not ideal, but then you should go the next step with profit optimization, because otherwise it could be a little bit too random.
Got it. So basically, just to recap, it's you need traction first of all, and then you need data as much as possible. Yes. So this is something like you need to grow up as a business to reach that level at some point, because you just need it from the very beginning. Agreed. And I feel you regarding the having that data and collecting it and just being able to kind of input it and treat it in a way that it can be used in the future, because I'm always talking to sellers and kind of trying to convince them to input their, for instance, like cost of goods more accurately, do it like by batches, not just as a constant, because they change over time. And if you just treat it as a constant, then your retrospective sales history is affected. And then all of your numbers are basically, messed up. In order to keep the data clean, you need to use certain techniques. So they're not too complicated, but we offer as well some methods that you can, use to input as much as possible of cost of goods in a certain way, overhead expenses again in a certain way, and then use that data for more accurate profit calculations, and also for PPC campaign optimization. Because if you at some point your data isn't accurate, or you're missing a part of the of what needs to be there for accurate profit calculation, then your optimization will miss the point as well, because you will not be accurate with what you're optimizing for. So yeah, I feel you on that.
Alex,
Okay,
if
so
you don't mind, I
sure.
have also a question in your direction, because we're talking about all that profit optimization, and I mentioned that Expert is offering that profit optimization. But what we figured out over time when we started with our first profit optimization, how complicated is all the data. And I don't talk about what in the field of a seller, is cost of goods sold, also in the terms of Amazon data. For instance, everything around VAT is becoming quite complicated in the EU, because the VAT depends on in which country you are selling. That was, for instance, something we were really not able to fulfill, an accuracy of VAT calculation. For instance, that's why we partner with different companies around profit analytics. Maybe let's have a talk. We will also partner here in the terms. So how do you tackle all these, I would say, nobody is thinking about problems, for instance, VAT, and I don't want to go in any details, but I think it is and it was quite challenging. Do you have any ideas, or is it too technical?
No, sure. I can give you like a general idea of how we work with, for instance, VAT, if you brought that up. So for obviously for the majority of our customers, which are located in the US, this is not a question, because they have simplified systems and they kind of work in a different way. But for the European market and people that sell in European marketplaces, this is a very hot topic, because their profits, if they're not accounting for VAT, their profits are inflated, and they like see in their calculations money that doesn't belong to them, but to the tax authorities. So this is why you need to like input your data in a certain way. You need to input, if you are a VAT registered sale in Europe, for seller board, you need to input your COGS without the VAT, you need to input your expenses without the VAT, and all of that will be calculated separately. And we have several methods to do it. So we have like, depending on which method do you want to use. If you have few ASINs and you're working in like a single marketplace, you can just input the VAT level for each product, which is not ideal, because probably you have a lot of them and probably you're working in several marketplaces at once. And if you do, then you can go several routes. So first of all, if there are two main ways that you can treat with VAT. You can either do VAT calculations in seller board, or you can skip VAT calculations in seller board and use the Amazon's VAT calculation system. I think it's VSS or something like that. So VCS. So you choose, you can do that in the settings. But if you go with seller board, then there are several options. So the first one is just specifying the VAT for your ASINs, or you can apply, if you are registered with the one-stop shop union one-stop shop program. So what you said regarding different VAT levels in different countries. So if you do that, then in seller board, for all of your products, you will select the categories, the VAT categories that are applied for that product. And then what seller board would do, it would then take into account with every sale, what is the product category for that specific sale, the marketplace that you're operating in, and then the marketplace where the product was sold, and calculate the exact VAT that needs to be applied to that product, and it will be subtracted from the sale that you will have. And at the end, you will have a profit, a real profitability picture. But again, as you said, having all the factors, especially from Amazon, they're like, I would say, not problems or things that we run into. I'd say, like yesterday, I was talking to a very nice community of sellers, and they brought up a very good question. They said that the VAT on Amazon fees, because now with the recent changes, you have to apply VAT for Amazon fees. Like this data comes in late, like in a week after the sale happened. And imagine the frustration when you are like seeing an overinflated situation with profitability, and then in a week the VAT data comes in for your Amazon fees, and then you get like a big dive into profitability. So this is a problem. And then I reached out to our technical team and asked, why is it happening? And they said that this is due to the deferred payments for Amazon. So this is something I learned just recently. It seems like, from my like very small knowledge, Amazon is just holding back the payments for a period of time before they reach the seller accounts. So it's from 5 days and up to I don't know how much, but they are not sharing the VAT data with those sales instantly through API. So they do not have a solution for that. They do not share that data. And what in the future, probably how it will be solved, they will pull up a transactional API. So a different API that we will connect to, and we will pull that data with the transaction happening and not after the fees from the deferred payments reach the final seller, right? So we will be able to do that instantly. But for now, we can't do that because the data is not there. So yes, there's a lot of things that need to be taken into account. Thank you for bringing it up. And we are constantly, talking to sellers, getting that feedback, reaching out to the Amazon and working with developers to gather as much data as possible. But not always the data is there. And maybe you also have that question.
Yeah. We run exactly in the same part, and often we want explanation from Amazon what they provide as data, and if they can give detailed information, that is, and then what you mentioned, there's a lot of delay in the Amazon API. If you can think how fast they can deliver products, I would expect that data deliver must be even faster. But with conversion delay, all that stuff, that is all these small details what you have to into consideration if you're offering PPC. And I think there will coming a lot of more data. If you compare Amazon with Google optimization, you can say, for instance, all these bit modifier. A 30-year-old woman at 2 p.m. on Tuesday, second Tuesday of the month, sitting in Munich, and a lot of more bit modifier you can take into optimization. All that will coming for the Amazon optimization as well, and then the complexity will increasing a lot, and that is outside of profit optimization and outside of all the small details of calculation, all the fees. So that's quite challenging.
Yep. I feel you on that again. It can become a real burden to keep track of that. Justas, are you ready for the Q&A?
Yeah, we have few questions, and it's nice it's really interesting to listen to your conversation. I see some people dropped few comments and questions, and let's address them. So Arun is asking maybe more basic question. How does TACOS optimization work? I understand some softwares offer it, but it would be great if workflow could be explained.
Maybe I can jump in here, Alex, if you don't mind. So in general, TACOS so there are a few people understanding on TACOS optimization. So I understand total ACOS optimization. It means you take into optimization all your organic data where you don't pay when you sell, and your paid data. And then on an account level is quite simple. You just add that together, divided that by all your sales, and you have a TACOS data on account level. Then you can go a little bit deeper. And the big challenge is if you want to do TACOS optimization on campaign level, because you cannot 100% accurate apply the organic data to campaign data if your product gets sold into several campaigns. Then you have to be very careful with the TACOS optimization, because there is not a single report where in PPC software can really match these data. If you do a TACOS optimization on product level, it's maybe doable if you have a really structured account. So here at Adspot, we decided right now not to offer a TACOS optimization, because the data, what you can get from Amazon and all the guessings, we decided not to offering that. We going more into the world of rankings, and think that also solve maybe a problem of TACOS optimization. But I can understand that is you want to do that.
Great, thank you.
Yep.
We have another question. Well, it's not a question. I think Sarka is just commenting that I get more orders with manual PPC as it's more controllable. I use automatic PPC briefly to find new keywords to improve my manual campaigns. Do you have any comments on this?
I think yeah. Alex.
Sorry, you go first.
No, please go ahead. Please go ahead.
I just wanted to say that when my question would be to Zarka, how many campaigns do you have? I mean, how much time do you spend usually per day analyzing the data and optimizing the bids? So this is the big question, because if you don't have too many, this is the best approach, in my opinion, really. Understanding, if you have a few campaigns and understanding how each one of them evolves and kind of feeling them, right? Because when you do an input and you feel what happened next on the next day, this is like you staying on top of things and keeping your hand on the pulse of how the outcome and what the result is. But when you have a lot of campaigns, it becomes challenging because you lose track actually of what your perspective of the evolution of that campaign is. So at some point you need to optimize at least a part of that process and automate it. I see that. Is that the question?
8 days. Maybe he meant that he spends 8 days. Zarka, can you?
That's too much. I wouldn't recommend doing that. No, I mean, how many campaigns are you running consecutively, not in parallel at once?
Yeah, Zarka, if you can provide some. Stephanie, you had also something to comment on manual versus automatic?
Very similar to what Alex say. I think, and even if you have thousands of keywords, if you are really detailed to one keyword, maybe you can beat an automation with that single keyword, because you're so in, you every day changing, you expecting, some specifics that if your competitors right now low on stocks, if you change the price and all that stuff. So maybe you can with a few single keywords better than an automation. But if you compare all of these keywords together, then an automation should always beat all your manual biddings, because if you do manual biddings, you're just checking one line, a single keyword, and you go through that line. An automation combines all the keywords at the same time and finds the best scenario for all keywords at the same time based on a specific goal. And that's why I was always suggesting an automation over a manual PPC, because you can give up. You have so much more work to do on an Amazon account. So concentrate on everything what Alex at the beginning mentioned, all your 5 faults, what you can optimize. So that's why I would say leave it really to an automation. But with a single keyword, you can maybe beat an automation.
And Zarka says
just one.
This is just one campaign, and he says I update my listing keywords too.
Okay.
This is the response. So with one campaign, I would probably do the same thing. But also, I wanted to add to what Stephanie said now with keyword optimization. So when you're using automated campaigns and doing basically keyword harvesting and discovering new keywords that show some results, then what you want to do is find the keywords that do show the best performance and take them out of those automated campaigns and treat them separately, right? So maybe have a higher daily budget, maybe change the bid for them. So if you see that keyword works perfectly for you, and if you have a lot of those automated campaigns for different cases, or maybe if the volume is high, then this is a lot of work. So in order to analyze the performance of each keyword in the automated campaign. And now I'm starting to pitch seller board, but we do have the functionality to analyze those automated campaigns and move them to separate campaigns once they fulfill certain rules that you specify. For instance, if a keyword generates a specific number of sales after a certain amount of clicks, or maybe if an ACOS level for a specific keyword is reached, right? So then you consider that keyword a nice keyword, and you can transfer it to another campaign with higher budgets and higher bids. And another thing you need to do is basically analyze the keywords that are underperforming and draining away from your profitability of the campaign. So you need to move them to negative, as well as, again, doing it manually can be time challenging. So you could also apply automation to do that. And this is just two aspects of keyword automation. But if you have one campaign, it makes perfect sense, Zarka.
Cool. Thank you. And of course, Sellerboard and Adspert, they provide automated, optimized Amazon advertising management. And I think Adspert, because you are doing just that, you go much deeper in everything, and maybe you have more features. It's probably for another video to compare different tools.
I wouldn't go head to head. I would just prefer sticking to profitability and focusing on that.
Okay, Arun is asking, on a scale, is there any software which can do negation based on relevance to product? I'm yet to find one which has a good logic of negating irrelevant keywords at scale. Maybe experts can suggest. Do you have this function in your tools?
So we have some similar function like also Sellerboard, because when you talk about bid management or PPC, a specific in Amazon, it's relevant. One is the bidding, and the second one is selecting keywords and also get rid of keywords. And as Alex mentioned, take out as much as possible also automatic campaigns and put that into manual campaigns, and then try to find the right bid, because in an auto campaign, you only set one bid for all the keywords or for all the traffics you get in that auto campaign. So what we do a lot is we put them first in a manual campaign, try to find the right bid, and then set them to negative. It's really rare that we immediately set them to negative, because you can't be sure that you get the right traffic in an auto campaign. So coming to that question, I'm not 100% sure if that negation is to product. I think it's about finding if you set negative keywords into an auto campaign. If that is the case, I think most software where they have harvesting on keywords, I would guess have also the possibility to put keywords to negative. But Alex, maybe you can cover me up here with your opinion.
Yes, I can just share the way we do that. So for keyword automation, we have a simple mechanism. You can set the rules for each campaign. If you apply automation to a specific PPC campaign that you're running, you can tell Sellerboard, for instance, hey, if there are no sales after a certain amount of clicks for this particular keyword, then you should move that keyword to negative. Then just get rid of it. We don't transfer it to another campaign and try other bidding or not. We just give very, very simple rules that you can set up for negating the keywords if they're not fulfilling your requirements. It is just a simple thing mechanism.
Yeah, we have a little bit different approach here. To be honest, maybe it's not a fit for every seller. So we have some similar rules, but we have these rules compared to all the keywords or product in the ad group. If you, for instance, say you neglect a keyword what have no sales over, let's say, the last 30 days, if all the other keywords also have no impressions or sale, so we don't touch that. We don't touch that keyword because we don't check a single keyword. We check the relevance in an ad group to try to avoid, because then you have a better ranking of that ad group. But we have similar rules, I would say, like you have, but we don't let the customer so much influence it. Otherwise, we did some experiments. For instance, we don't say we take one keyword into a manual campaign just to have one conversions. We have examples where you put immediately hundreds of keywords in a manual campaigns, and then they're full. So if an ad group get a lot of conversions, you have to think about it. You put that keyword in a manual campaign, what is more relevant for sales than the other keywords. I hope, Arun, we answer your question a little bit.
Okay, Arun
it's
is
an
asking.
interesting approach. Sorry about that. I just wanted to point out that it's an interesting approach, accounting for the performance of the other keywords in the ad group as well, rather than just negating it from the very beginning.
So Arun wants clarification. So even irrelevant keywords, we wait for 10 clicks.
Irrelevant keywords. Well, it can be 5, it can be 2. So the setting is up to you. And maybe this is what Stephanie said, that you have with the tool that we have in Sellerboard, you kind of have flexibility, but we don't do it for you. You set the rules as the user, right? And maybe it's not the best case, because if you have less knowledge about it, it will take some testing, right? So you just need to figure out an approach that would be safe for you. So you can set like higher numbers at the beginning just to play it safe. And then once you become confident, then this rule of negation works for you, then you can just increase or become more aggressive with your approach. So depending, not 5 clicks, but maybe 5 clicks, not 10 clicks, but 5 clicks. If you didn't sell in 5 clicks, then you're getting rid of the keyword. And the same applies, by the way, for bid optimization. We also provide the tools to fine tune your strategy, how aggressively you want to change the bids, how many clicks do you want to take into account before optimizing the bid, and in how many steps do you want to divide the bid change. So it's up to the seller. And on one hand, you have the flexibility, but on the other hand, we do not provide any expertise on what is the right approach. It's all up to the seller and testing. So you need to kind of test your way through it.
All right, great. We have 2 more questions and we will, I think, be good with this session. So Joe, what is the best PPC ranking strategy when the market is very competitive, with CPC ranging between 3 to 6 for relevant keywords with decent search volume over 500 and budget 3,000 per month?
Good question. To be honest, I think I would compare this question. Can you give me the best campaign structure for my account? You can't. I would love to answer these simple questions with a simple answer, but you can't come with generic explanation. It's the same like Alex mentioned just a few minutes ago. Yes, you can say that you can set up a rules by 10 clicks, you do that. By 5 clicks, you do that. It's really individual. I think to give you an answer to this question, it really makes sense to go into an account. For instance, what we do here with Adspert, we offer a scenario feature. That is one of our USPs, that we can say with a certain amount of goal set, you can expect that from the market. And these data coming out of our algorithm, and that is an advantage for a lot of sellers, but it gives less flexibility with rules. That is what Alex mentioned. For some seller or vendors, rules, they feel more comfortable, but then you cannot offer a kind of a scenario feature. And on the other hand, with Adspert, with an AI, we can offer a scenario features, but less flexibility with rules. And that is the same here. I think giving generic answer, I feel not comfortable giving that, but I'm more than happy if you reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'm happy to deep dive a little bit more and give you some more insights.
All right, perfect. And another question from Joe. How comparable is the effect of PPC orders and organic orders on ranking? If, for example, the CPR of 20, how many PPC sales?
That's just PPC sales. So the effect of PPC orders, I just want to get the question right, because at the very beginning I felt like I was able to answer that. So the PPC orders and the organic orders on ranking. So cost per result of 20, how many PPC sell? And I wouldn't be able to answer the last part of the question. So if and then, because as Stephanie just mentioned, it's like testing out, the temperature of the water. You need to put your fingers in just to understand it. But regarding the influence of your ranking and your organic sales and how PPC influences that, one of the things that we kind of try to, this is the feedback that we get from the sellers that are actually using the PPC advertising module from Seller Board, is the fact that if for some reason PPC sales stop at a certain point, and that could be for, I don't know, because of the budget, because they are running out of inventory, then immediately the organic sales feel that drop. So the link is there, and it's always has been. So we even have sellers that are, when asked how are they using the strategies and the approach for optimization, the bids, they are saying that they kind of use a strategy to level out the ACOS with the break-even ACOS for their campaigns. So basically their campaigns are not generating any profit, but nor are they losing money. And they are only doing that to support the organic sales and the organic ranking. So this is like the approach to investing in upkeeping your organic sales. And this is what a lot of our users do. So my short answer, without being a specialist in PPC, would be there's the direct link and effect on the organic sales, but what you're doing with your PPC. But Stephanie, maybe you have more to talk about.
Exactly. I would say really good answer, Alex. So if you do PPC, you get sales, and your organic ranking is also increasing. And that is, by the way, modeled by Amazon. That is one of the big difference to Google. You can spend as much as possible money on Google advertisement to show up in the first 3 spots or in the lowest spot, but you cannot influence your SEO. So you cannot influence in the middle part how much your visibility. It's different. One is SEO, that you do with all your content marketing, and the other one is you spend money. Amazon is a little bit more, they going a different approach. If you have a lot of orders, your organic ranking also increases. In the past, I saw that if you're really good, you have a 50-50. If you are excellent, your organic ranking is much higher, and you maybe can shut down your PPC for a while. Then you're losing a little bit ranks. You turn on your PPC, and so you push your organic rankings always up and down. And that is also a lot of companies doing that. They're saying, I don't want to be profitable on my advertisement, so on my PPC, because I get my money out of that free orders from organic. But the days change. What we saw in our data, we saw more and more that the PPC sales or orders are much higher than the organic. Even people spend a lot for PPC because there are not so many free spots on him anymore on an Amazon website. Even in the early days, you just buy the users on a front page. And then on the product page, it was yours. There was no big advertisement. But if you know, seeing the product pages, everywhere is advertisement. So sometimes people have to buy twice for the same user, because on the organic, on the product page, they have to protect the users, not that they're going to a different seller. And I think now with the new approach that you in the buy box, you can also now choose a different, it's becoming crazy. So you have to do PPC. That is my short answer to get rankings for paid, unfortunately. And it's not, I'm telling you that because we're offering a PPC software, but unfortunately the day is becoming quite hard.
So Joe is really eager to tap into your expertise. He has 2 more questions. So if we can answer them really quickly, How many keywords should I target at a time? I don't know if it's possible to answer quickly.
I can answer that in 2 sentences. If you're working with a PPC software, you can have millions of keywords. So really extend it to the maximum. If you do it by hand, 10, 20, 30 max.
Perfect. And another question from him. Which placement is most efficient on ranking? Top of search, rest of search, product pages?
It depends on the product. I would say. I think it's different, and that's why we have PPC software, finding out where you should place the product, and it could be in your own products, different for different product categories.
Cool. Thank you. So thank you everyone who was sending us questions. Thank you, Alex and Stephanie. I wanted also to mention that this session is part of the Seller Fest online virtual event where we invited over 20 experts to share expertise and strategies just like this on YouTube through the sessions, but we also asked them to provide additional content, additional video, which we uploaded to the VP members area, and you can get access to those additional 20 plus videos if you follow the link below in the description and go to the VP page, and you can upgrade it for getting access to additional 24 videos. And once you upgrade, the members area will look more or less like this. And inside that, you will find the videos by Alex as well, additional one, and by Stephanie. Alex, can you remind what did you share in your VP video?
Yes, sure, Augustus, thank you. So in my video, I showed one of the approaches or of the strategies how you can analyze your profitability from an account level and how you can dive onto the product level. And because usually when we present Sellerboard, I just talk about the software and what it does, but we do not actually show the, not being a seller myself, not having the expertise, we do not show usually how you can follow a certain route or a strategy to analyze it from top to bottom. But here in this video, I try to do just that. Obviously, it's a demo account that I was working with, so the data is not 100% relatable to what a seller will experience in his own seller account, but the principle is there. So when you have your general P&L analysis, like overview or a bird's eye view situation of your account and different areas that affect your profitability, and then you analyze it in dynamics, like month to month, for instance, and when you see problem areas, then you start digging deeper and uncovering and opening boxes, like why did my Amazon fees rise in this specific period, or what cost me to lose profitability and lose margins in a certain month? Was it like the returns, or was it the rising cost of goods, or something else? So I show you how in the video how you can do that using the Sellerboard dashboard.
Cool, thank you. And Stephanie, what was your video about?
I stressed out again how important it is to think about profit over ACOS. I think we touched some of these thoughts about today. It's a short one. I think you can really have with a good drink in your hand going through that. I think it should give you the idea of why you should consider profit optimization over ACOS with some simple explanations.
Cool, thank you very much for your contributions, and those who are interested, you will find the link below in the description. And finally, before we part, one more time, let's pitch your tools. So expert Stephanie, one more time, maybe what kind of sellers are you targeting, whom you help, and how you help?
Yeah, thanks for giving me that opportunity. So we start with a small package of $99. You can use the full software here. So it doesn't mean you need thousands of products. If you have more than 20, 30 products, you can use our PPC software. Typically, clients choose our software if they are not happy with their ACOS, or they want to move from a manual optimization to an automation. We have also a software part for enterprise clients. Here you have the possibility also have a very sophisticated keyword harvesting. In the small version of Expert, you have a simple approach for keyword harvesting. And that is the best practice of all our enterprise clients and how they work here. Yeah, and feel free, you can test it 30 days for free. And afterwards, you can decide it if you want to buy it or not.
Yeah, cool. Thank you very much. And Alex, Sellerboard.
Sure. Thank you, Augustus. So, okay, I can share the screen now. Well, Sellerboard is a profit analytics software. Who are our clients, or who do I suggest Sellerboard to? The sellers, obviously, that are registering some sales, have some data to analyze. And if we're talking about pricing, we start at, I think it's 19 euros per month if you pay monthly, or 15 euros per month if you pay yearly. So it's quite accessible for new sellers. But so we try to make the software as accessible as possible for everyone. So the approach of analyzing profitability would become a good habit from day one for as many sellers as possible. And there's a profit dashboard that you can use to analyze your situation day to day on a product level, like on an account level. That's P&L, so from top to bottom. And you have all of your profitability, factors that need to be taken into account. Analyze them, month by month. We do have a PPC module that lets you analyze the performance of your PPC campaigns, do some automation, probably not as advanced as Expert, but so you can automate keywords, bidding. You can manage your inventory with Sellerboard, so kind of plan out with how much you need and how much stock you have, get evaluation. And also a very good feature is the alerts feature, when you get notified about all the different events, but there's just too much to talk about. Generally, I would suggest just to check out the demo account first, and also use the Orange Click link for an additional month of free trial, because we generally provide 1 month. But for the audience of Orange Click, we provide 2 months. So there's no obligation to continue after that, but do try it on your own numbers and see how it works for you.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Alex. Thank you very much, Stephanie. See you next time.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
guys. Thank you, Augustus. Bye-bye.
Bye. And now I would like to invite you to watch other video which will help you to understand how you can fix unprofitable PPC campaigns. So check this out.